In how many ways can a mayor choose 6 members of her advisory council from 14 nominees? Again, you're choosing 6 different people, and order isn't important. You're just choosing them to be on the council. It doesn't matter what order you pick them in. They are on the council. Again, that's the signature of a combination. So you're choosing from 14 nominees, and you're making a choice of 6. So N is 14, R is 6. This time they didn't ask us to leave it in symbolic form, so we have to calculate that value. The keystrokes would be entering 14, shift 2 is the combination, 6 is R, and then equal evaluates it. And you would come out with 3,003. So there are 3,003 possible 6-member advisory councils if you're choosing from 14 nominees. Let's change it up slightly. What if she's still choosing a 6-member group, but 2 of them will be officers? You'll have a chair and a vice chair and then just 4 others. If you think of it that way, that's more complicated. So you're essentially breaking a bigger task into 2 subtasks. So you're actually choosing the officers and then choosing the others. And by the fundamental counting principle, you'll take the product of the first calculation and the second calculation to be the final answer. So let's take it one piece at a time. We want to first choose the officers from the 14. So you're going to pick officers from the 14. There'll be 2 officers, but order matters because the chair is different than the vice chair. There's a difference. So chair, vice chair is different than vice chair, chair. So that's a permutation. It's a permutation of what, though? You're choosing from 14 people and you're taking them 2 at a time. So it's a permutation of 14 taken 2 at a time. And the reason it's a permutation is because you're choosing one to be a chair and one to be a vice chair. That's different than reversing the order. Chair, vice chair is different than vice chair, chair. But in the second subtask, you're just putting the other 4 people on the committee or on the council. So it doesn't matter what order you chose them in. So that's a combination. You've already taken 2 of the 14 people and made them officers. So there are only 12 left. If you take the 14 original people, you've already taken 2 officers out of the running. So the other 12 people, any of the 12 people can go on the remaining 4 spots. So that's a combination of 12 people taken 4 at a time. And the answer will be the product of those 2. So we have to calculate each of those 2. Remember, the permutation uses the shift 1. So you're going to put 14 in, shift 1, 2 in, and then press equal. That will give you 182. Then move over and do the combination. Remember, the combination is shift 2. So you'll enter 12, do shift 2, then enter 4, and to evaluate it, press equal. And that will give you 495. And finally, this is your first subtask, this is your second subtask, and by the fundamental counting principle, you take the product of those 2, and that would be 90,090 different ways that the mayor could choose a 6-member advisory council from 14 nominees if 2 of them are going to serve as officers. 1 is chair and 1 is vice chair, and the other 4 can just be on the council.